There comes a time in your life when you have to look in the mirror and make a decision. Not about your clothes, not about your career, but about who you are. Deep inside, there's an old version of you, full of fear, full of excuses, full of hesitation. And that version has to die if you ever want to live the life you dream about. You see, most people never change because they keep dragging the old version of themselves into a new chapter. They want new results with the same habits. They want success without sacrifice. They want growth without letting go. But you can't pour new wine into old bottles, and you can't build a new life with the same weak mindset that kept you stuck. Killing the old you doesn't mean forgetting where you came from. It means refusing to be chained by it. It means saying, I will no longer be the person who gives up when it gets hard. I will no longer be the one who settles for less. I will no longer live small because I'm afraid to fail. That old you, the one that doubts, complains, blames, and procrastinates, that version has had its turn. And now it's time to bury it. Every time you say, I can't, the old you grows stronger. Every time you say, tomorrow, the old you wins again. But every time you take action when you don't feel like it, every time you say, I'll do it now, you're choking the life out of your past self. You're proving that you're no longer controlled by weakness or fear. Change isn't about motivation. It's about execution. It's about discipline. It's about doing what you said you would do, even after the feeling is gone. The old you wants comfort. The new you wants growth. The old you wants to be liked. The new you wants to be respected. The old you looks for shortcuts. The new you knows that real success comes from doing the hard work every single day. When you decide to kill the old you, people will question you. They'll say you've changed. And that's the point. Growth is uncomfortable because it demands that you leave behind what's familiar. The old you is comfortable, it's predictable, it's safe. But comfort is the enemy of greatness. You can't become who you were meant to be while holding on to who you used to be. Think about it. A snake sheds its skin to grow. A butterfly must die as a caterpillar to be reborn. You too must die to your old self, to your bad habits, to your fear, to your laziness, if you want to rise into your full potential. So today, make a decision, kill the old you. Kill the version that says, I'll start next week. Kill the version that waits for perfect timing. Kill the version that seeks approval from others. Because every moment you spend being that person is a moment stolen from the person you could become. The new you is stronger. The new you is disciplined. The new you doesn't make excuses. You make moves. You don't talk about change. You are the change. You don't wait for opportunities. You create them. And here's the truth. Transformation is painful. You'll lose people. You'll lose habits. You'll lose comfort. But you'll gain clarity, purpose, and power. You'll gain respect for yourself. You'll gain a life that reflects your potential, not your past. So, if you're tired of the same cycle, tired of your own excuses, tired of not living up to your own standards, then do what needs to be done. Stand up, look yourself in the mirror, and say, enough is enough. Today, the weak you dies. Today, the fearful you is buried. Today, the new you is born. Because greatness doesn't come from wishing, waiting, or hoping. It comes from killing the old you, so the best version of you can finally live. ChatGPT said, transformation requires elimination. You can't step into your future while still holding on to the weight of your past. You can't build a new life with the same tools that broke the old one. Every person who has ever achieved greatness understood one thing. In order to rise, something within you must fall. The version of you that loves comfort, that runs from pain, that fears rejection, that version has to go. Too many people want transformation without sacrifice. They want to change their lives, but they don't want to change themselves. They want to move forward, yet they keep dragging the old habits, the old mindset, the old story along with them. They keep saying, "I'll start when it feels right," not realizing that change never feels right. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. Transformation begins the moment you decide that staying the same is more painful than changing. When you eliminate the old you, you're not destroying your identity. You're freeing your potential. Think about it. Every bad habit, every excuse, every fear, every limiting belief has built a wall between you and your best self. That wall doesn't fall with motivation. It falls with elimination. You must tear down everything inside you that keeps you small: the negative thoughts, the procrastination, the people who doubt you, and the environments that feed your weakness. Elimination isn't easy. It hurts to let go of the version of yourself that's familiar. It hurts to walk away from people who no longer align with your growth. It hurts to admit that your own decisions have kept you from your potential. But pain is the price of progress. Just as a muscle must tear before it grows stronger, your character must be broken down before it can be rebuilt. Transformation begins when you start saying no. No to your excuses. No to the distractions that steal your focus. No to the voice in your head that says you're not good enough. Every no to the old you is a yes to your destiny. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, faith over fear, and purpose over pleasure, you kill a piece of the old you that was never meant to survive your next chapter. The truth is, the old you has already taken you as far as it can. The habits that got you here won't take you there. The mindset that once kept you safe is now keeping you stuck. You can't keep living by the same patterns and expect new results. To grow, you must break the cycle. You must eliminate the part of you that plays small, that avoids risk, that fears judgment. The old you wants to protect you from pain. The new you understands that pain is the path to power. Think about nature. A seed cannot become a tree unless it's buried in darkness first. It has to break open to grow. The same is true for you. The old shell must crack, the old version must die, and the old comfort must end before something new can rise. You can't evolve without elimination. This process requires courage. It requires honesty. It requires looking at yourself and asking, what part of me is keeping me from becoming who I was meant to be? Maybe it's your laziness. Maybe it's your fear of failure. Maybe it's your need for validation from others. Whatever it is, you must face it and cut it off. Because as long as it lives inside you, your greatness will remain trapped beneath it. You weren't born to live halfway. You weren't created to live safe and small. You were made to grow, to lead, to conquer, to build something meaningful with your life. But to reach that place, you must eliminate everything that isn't in alignment with your highest self. Transformation isn't an event, it's a war between who you are and who you're meant to be. And only one can survive. Every day you choose which one wins. Will you keep feeding your fears, or will you start feeding your future? Will you keep letting your excuses define you, or will you finally eliminate them and rise above? The old you will fight to stay alive. It will whisper doubts, remind you of your failures, and tell you that you're not ready. But that's how you know you're on the right path. Resistance means growth. When it gets hard, keep going. When you want to quit, remember that you're killing the old version of yourself. Every moment of struggle is proof that transformation is happening. At the end of the day, true success isn't about becoming someone new. It's about removing everything that isn't truly you. It's about stripping away the fear, the doubt, and the weakness that have clouded your potential for too long. When you eliminate what doesn't serve you, what remains is power, clarity, and purpose. So take a deep breath and let go. Let go of the old stories. Let go of the failures. Let go of the old identity that no longer fits your future. It's time to rise. It's time to evolve. It's time to eliminate everything that's holding you back. Because transformation requires elimination, and your new life is waiting on the other side of what you're willing to let die. There's a moment in every person's journey when motivation runs out. The excitement fades, the energy disappears, and you're left standing face to face with the truth. It's not about how you feel, it's about what you do. Discipline over feelings is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's the difference between quitting halfway and crossing the finish line. You see, feelings are temporary. They rise and fall like waves. One day you feel unstoppable, and the next you feel defeated. But discipline is the anchor that keeps you steady through every storm. It's what carries you forward when your emotions tell you to stop. Feelings whisper, take it easy. Discipline replies, not yet, there's more to do. The old version of you lived by emotion. You waited to feel ready. You waited to feel inspired. But the truth is, if you only act when you feel good, you'll never get anywhere great. The path to growth is paved with days you don't want to get up, don't want to train, don't want to study, don't want to work, and yet you do it anyway. That's discipline. Discipline doesn't mean you don't have emotions. It means you refuse to let emotions make your decisions. Because if you let your feelings lead, they'll lead you straight back to comfort. And comfort kills progress. You can't chase your dreams with a soft heart and weak habits. The world doesn't reward effort, it rewards results. And those results come only from showing up again and again, no matter how you feel. Think of every champion, every leader, every legend you admire. They didn't always feel motivated. They had bad days, painful days, days when quitting seemed easier. But they showed up anyway. Because discipline means doing what's right, not what's easy. It means following through on your commitment long after the mood has passed in which you made it. When you kill the old you, you're killing that part that acts based on feelings. The part that says, I don't feel like it today. The part that hits snooze instead of getting up. The part that takes a break before the work is done. That version of you is weak. It wants comfort more than growth. But the new you, the disciplined you, does what's necessary, not what's convenient. Discipline is not about punishment, it's about purpose. It's about building a version of yourself that keeps promises even when no one's watching. When you train yourself to act with discipline, you begin to trust yourself. You no longer depend on motivation, you depend on your standards. You no longer chase inspiration, you create it. The truth is, every great thing you want in life sits on the other side of discipline. Success, health, respect, confidence, they all demand consistency. Anyone can work hard for a day. Anyone can be motivated for a week. But discipline, that's built over months, over years, over thousands of small, silent decisions that no one sees but you. When you stop listening to your feelings, you become dangerous because now you're driven by principle, not emotion. You get up early when you're tired. You keep working when it's boring. You push through when others give up. That's when you start to see change. That's when you start to build momentum. Remember this: discipline doesn't take away your freedom. It gives you freedom, because when you control yourself, nothing else can control you. You're no longer a slave to moods or motivation. You're guided by vision, by purpose, by commitment. Every day, the old you will whisper, rest, take it easy, skip today. But the new you, the one you're building, will answer, not today. I've come too far to stop now. And that's the voice you must listen to. That's the voice that creates transformation. Discipline turns potential into progress and dreams into reality. It's not glamorous and it's not easy, but it's worth it. The more you train yourself to act despite your feelings, the more powerful you become. You build momentum. You build confidence. You build a life that others only talk about. When you choose discipline over feelings, you take back your power. You stop being controlled by laziness, by excuses, by comfort. You become the kind of person who doesn't just start strong, you finish stronger. You build a legacy. So when you wake up tomorrow and you don't feel like it, remember this moment. Remember why you started. Remember that the old you lived by feelings, but the new you lives by purpose. You're not here to be comfortable. You're here to be great. Greatness doesn't care how you feel. It only cares how you act. And when you act with discipline, every single day, no matter what, you become unstoppable. Because true power doesn't come from emotion. It comes from control. It comes from consistency. It comes from doing what must be done, especially when you don't feel like it. Rebirth through pain is the story of transformation, the process of tearing down the old to make way for the new. Every great person you admire has walked through seasons of discomfort, loss, and struggle before stepping into their greatness. You can't become who you were meant to be without going through pain. It's the fire that burns away weakness, the storm that exposes your strength, and the pressure that shapes your true character. Pain isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. It's the test that separates those who want success from those who are willing to fight for it. Most people fear pain. They run from it, numb it, or pretend it isn't there. But those who rise above the rest embrace it. They understand that pain isn't permanent. It's a process. It's the price of evolution. You can't kill the old you without feeling the sting of letting go. You'll lose comfort, familiarity, and sometimes even people who no longer fit the person you're becoming. It hurts, but that pain is proof that you're growing. Just like a snake sheds its skin, you must shed the parts of yourself that no longer serve you. The bad habits, the toxic thoughts, the limiting beliefs. Rebirth begins when you stop running from pain and start learning from it. The pain of discipline, the pain of rejection, the pain of failure, all of it refines you. Every tear, every sleepless night, every setback is carving a stronger, wiser, and more resilient version of you. When you look back, you'll realize that your most painful moments were the very moments that built your strength. Without them, you wouldn't have developed the grit to keep going when things got hard. Pain forces you to confront your truth. It breaks your ego and reveals what's real.